Cảm ơn các bạn, chào tạm biệt các bạn.
Bill Burr, comedian, baby. Made headlines in October 2000 and 2000 after controversial monologue. You know, man, I don't know
2000 and 2000, Mike, that's 2020.
Nigga, listen,
Those
man.
Brownsville schools, man.
Phil, tell me, man, but listen, right?
Colorado, he trains Rose Namajunas.
Yeah. Kamaru
Oh,
Usman.
Rose Namajunas.
Do you love her?
I love her.
I love her too.
I love all the USC female fighters. That's why I want my daughter to know how to know all of that stuff.
That'd be cool, huh?
When she meets a creep like you, she could choke you out.
Bro, I'm going to say something, right? You walked up this fucking
Why are
drive.
you pointing at me? I came over here during rush hour to do
I
your
understand that,
podcast.
and I'm grateful that you're here.
Nothing but a red line the whole way over here.
For being vulnerable.
Oh, would you stop it like you have some sort of
I
psychology
do.
degree?
10 years in therapy.
So what?
It's
I've watched
helped with
football
anger.
for 40 years. I shouldn't be somebody's coach.
Do you remember when they lit up the puck for a few years on
Fox
TV?
News, yeah.
That was you guys.
Do you know? No, but the NHL.
Well,
No, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Not
Wait a
Bill,
minute.
though.
Time out.
Not
Time
Bill.
out. Time out. The NHL is you guys too. So all the owners had to agree with that, and you all had to be like, we gotta like expand this thing.
We thought we'd funnel money into Canada and keep it here, but you guys took it over, like you tend to do. But
Well, I'm not going to apologize for that.
no, you're big on the
I mean, that's just business, dude. You're acting like we came and knocked you on the head. You know what we're about. Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a second. Fellow white person, not native to this country. How did you guys get this up here? Did the Native Americans go, oh, well, we like these white guys. You can have all our land. Jesus Christ.
No,
I get it. Your shit smells like maple syrup up here. Is that what you're telling me? All right.
Really? Is that you in action, or is this another photo shoot?
It's a photo shoot. People do photo shoots.
Yeah, I know.
Have you ever seen like a movie poster and you'll see a movie star
I have.
who's clearly 5'2", yet somehow he's as tall as the supermodel?
I have.
Yeah, that's a photo shoot. And they fix stuff. Look, I'm sorry you're just on the web, man. You took it to, he took it to this place. I'm not trying to shit on his website. What is it called again? Huh? Zippitydoodah.com.
Because the older guys, Robert Kelly's and all, they all call you Billy. Colin calls you Billy, but I fucking Bill.
I'm
You know
just
what I mean?
immediately noticing. I don't know about the chain. If it's
Yeah.
thick enough to be
Yeah.
that level of confidence.
Yeah,
it's,
well, but when
that's
the
more of a necklace.
when the chain's out,
Yeah,
I
he has on a fat chick ankle bracelet around
Yeah,
his
I-
fucking neck. You have 9 different positions since you've started this sentence.
Yeah, because I've been training with Trevor Whitman.
Oh yeah,
with my footwork.
Oh, Trevor Whitman. Oh my God.
Do you know him?
No. The deepest couch in sports entertainment.
A lot of people think that they're uncomfortable with my elevation. Are you uncomfortable with it?
No, I just see all of your insecurities. Your giant desk.
You gush over your daughter. Not everyone gushes. Did your dad gush over you?
I mean, I was too little. Yeah, no, my dad actually at work did. At work, that's when I learned, like, oh my God, yeah, he really likes us. But when he came home, yeah, he was cracking the whip. How's your bed mate? You do your studies? Well, why not? You know, it was that shit. And he also had a zillion kids, so I mean, yeah.
Really? How many siblings do you have?
I don't know, dude. The internet's too fucking weird to give out all that information.
Oh, you don't even want to say how many because you're afraid that it will
Yeah, by
somehow
all means,
compromise your
keep talking
privacy.
about it. Is there any way you can cut this out? I'm honest, dude. Like,
Seriously?
Yeah, no, dude. There's fucking lunatics out there.
Okay.
Whoa.
Off the air, I'll cut.
All right.
Jeez. I love how surprised he is. Jeez.
Well,
There's
you can mention the
there's
amount.
absolutely crazy people out
Okay,
there.
yeah. No.
Are you in the process? I cannot get comfortable in this fucking chair. This is just like one of the worst things. This should be like in a museum, is like the prototype. This is what, this was the awful level of comfort. We went from a log to this, and then eventually they got cushions. It's another guy looking at his phone. I swear to God. Dude, the day Jesus comes back, if he ever does, if he's even a real person, like 90% of people are going to miss it. They're going to walk right. He's going to be walking on water and immediately walking by him. And not even, I thought you were laughing. You were fucking yawning over here.
No, the mushrooms are fucking
mushrooms.
killing me, man. You know
I knew
back
it
to
wasn't
that.
just weed. I was
Yeah.
just like, there's no way I'm taking a hit off of that. There's something going on here.
Mushrooms, baby. The shrooms. I'm shrooming.
You know how fucked up this is? He's shrooming, and he's wearing pants like he went riding a horse today. Like side saddle or some shit.
Man, don't be like my wife. My wife is like Dick Patrol, man. Don't be like checking out my fucking tight pants and shit.
Like, I love how you came at me aggressive, and now you're going, you got your those little panda hands
I was.
up.
I love how you attacked my little panda hand.
That's
Let
what
me-
you look like. You look like a little panda.
I know. I was just because when you took your hat
like a
off.
little adolescent bear. At some point, I was going to make a point here. That's why I keep looking at here, and I just realized I'm blocking myself out of the camera. I love that you have the jib camera for this, like it's an action movie. Let's swoop in at these two guys sitting in these unbelievably small chairs. I literally feel like I'm going to fall onto the floor. This is insane. You really went all out with the audience, though. They got full-size adult chairs. Are these like from the 20s before they had like horse tranquilizers in our food, when everybody was like 5'1"? Yeah,
So your Christian background is part of the show, or at
yes,
least
and
two
I wanted
episodes.
to talk to you about Jesus after this.
Well, the only reason why I bring it up is some people thought maybe you went a little too far. You know.
As far as what?
Well, they thought that maybe you were being disrespectful to the Christian religion.
Who did?
I'm telling you, you need to Google.
Oh, good Lord.
So did you feel you were being
some...
disrespectful, or just you were just having fun with some of the crucifixes and stuff like that?
I don't even know what I mean, we did maybe two jokes about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you think the Catholic Church went a little too far? More so than my cartoon.
All right, listen.
A couple of jokes. I know this is a morning show. You can't bring up all those crimes.
You know what? Technically,
Well, they just sort of kept moving them around. You know, like those killer whales at SeaWorld. After it kills a trainer, they'll then move it up to Seattle. They don't give them their background.
all right, I'm not totally following, but I don't think
You
I
know
want
what
to.
I'm talking about. It's a morning show. I understand.
I like it. Thank you for
I
being
came on.
positive.
That kid was
Positive.
missed the graduation, and then it was a feel-good story.
It was a feel good, and we want to leave.
If you want to feel good about America, you watch the morning shows. You don't watch this, you know.
And
we were
watch-
joking earlier. If that kid's story about the graduation was late night, that would have been a whole different story.
What do you think?
He's still missing. We can't find him. All we found was his hat. But you watch in the morning. It's great. It all worked out. He got his own personal graduation. Like, I was in such a great mood. Look how yellow this couch is.
Baseball, no, it's not quite the way it used to be. I don't like that whole thing, like when you go to a game, if you catch a foul ball, you got to, like, give it to a kid now.
What are you talking about?
That's why kids are all mushy and fat. They don't got to work for anything. I'll get in trouble later on in my life. Transgender athletes, I don't fucking understand that, you know? I understand it if, you want to switch around. I don't give a shit. But I'm a sports fan. That's a really new concept to me, that you can be a dude, right? Ranked 80th in the fucking world. You have your dick cut off, you put on a sports bra, and now you're the #1 tennis player in the world, just coming out there with your man shoulders. That doesn't seem fair. I might be wrong. I might just be an old guy. I have no idea. But I'm hearing rumors like some of them are getting into that MMA. You can't have that shit. Am I nuts? That is a dickless dude beating the shit out of a woman. Jesus Christ. He might as well hit her with his discarded dick like a flashlight. And... Hold still. No, it's grounded. Her grounded pound is incredible.
If enough athletes, you're saying, use steroids.
Destroy themselves with steroids. They'll figure out how, they do it with singers. If a singer can't sing, she gets to use a steroid.
Yeah.
Right? How
So
come a football
you say
player?
it's going to improve the drugs so that we get to use them?
I'm saying by the time we're 80, they're going to have like a steroid vaporizer that you can just inhale, and you're going to have abs. I'll get a full head of hair, and you're going to be banging some hot 65-year-old. And it's all going to be because of these athletes and the sacrifices that they make that no one appreciates. I saw a woman a couple months back, professional soccer player, right? She goes on to ESPN or one of these sports channels, and she starts bitching, going like, I don't understand. How come female athletes don't make as much as male professional athletes? And all of these men had to sit there and act like they didn't know what the answer was. They had to sit there like dumbfounded, like, I don't know. Why is that?
Literally, I'm sitting at home screaming at the TV because you don't sell any fucking tickets. Nobody is going to women's soccer games. You're playing in a 20,000 seat arena. 1,500 people show up. That's not a good night. The promoter lost his fucking ass on that gig. I'm not saying no professional female athletes, Serena Williams, the women in the UFC, you know, but nobody's watching your fucking sport. And then you're going to come and you're going to get mad at fucking men. They keep doing that shit. Why are you yelling at us? It's not our fucking job. It's not my fucking job to give a fuck about women's soccer, okay? I have men's sport to pay attention to. It's your bullshit, right? Dude, look at the WNBA. Nobody in the WNBA got COVID. Nobody. They have been playing in front of 300 to 400 people a night for a quarter of a century. Not to mention, it's a male-subsidized league. We gave you a fucking league. None of you showed up. Where are all the feminists? None of you went to the fucking games. None of you. You failed them. Not me. Not men. Women failed the WNBA. Ladies, name your top 5 all-time WNBA players of all time. Come on. Let's hear it. Name 5 WNBA teams. Name the WNBA team in your fucking city. You can't do it. I'm watching a ball game, and all of a sudden, everybody stands up holding up a sign of somebody that they either know that's dying of cancer or died of it in the middle of the game. It's just like, what are you doing? No, there's a time and a place. I know somebody that has died of cancer. I would never go to the movies with you and in the middle of it hit pause and be like, oh, by the way, Conan.
I don't know what the fuck. I was bitching about, NFL football. I was complaining about how, and you know how it is, Joe. The game just isn't played the way it was played when I used to watch it.
No, it's all, they play it for the cameras, not for the fans.
It's all dessert, Joe. It's like a fat kid. It's all offense. They're just sitting there fucking licking the frost in 50 to 48 fucking games, and everybody's saying, one of the most unbelievable games I've ever seen.
What do you explain that to me? Because I'm not a sports guy. What does that mean?
It'd be like if Fast and the Furious meets sports. That's what it is. Where it's like, yeah, the cars are cool, Vin Diesel's cool and all that, but it's just like that was probably a bad example. Like the fucking there's people who don't like baseball want to see 100 home runs a game, right? People who are into baseball, they don't mind watching a pitcher's duel.
Right.
They don't mind seeing a little hit and run. Somebody lay down a fucking bunt. Somebody who fucking hates baseball is they just want to see somebody smash it out of the fucking park. So these sports have learned that. So basketball has done it. Hockey is, I think, because of head injuries and shit. It was already fast or whatever, but like they all just have gone. I think they've hit maximum density as far as they've gotten all the sports fans that they can get, and now they're trying to get the casual fan. And the casual fan, I guess, is offense. But I've talked about this too much on my own podcast, so I don't want to overlap here, Joe. We came here. What's that?
Let me ask you this though. You don't have to go down the road if you've already talked about it too much. But Mike, so I just want to make sure I understand. What you're saying is now they're training the players in baseball, for instance, go out and try to hit a fucking homer every time.
No, they juiced up the balls. They made the fucking.
Oh, okay.
That's what they did back in the day. They juiced up the balls. They let the players do juice. They looked the other fucking way and then acted surprised when all half their no-necked fucking roster. Really? I thought my second baseman hitting 45 home runs was normal. No second baseman hits that many.
Right.
But in football, they just made a ton of rules that just made it really difficult as a defense to fuck people up and take control of the game physically, to fucking manhandle an offense, to intimidate the shit out of them. Okay. They took away all of that. Like, Joe, you could literally play professional football. You could take a hit as a quarterback now. I'm not saying you'd get up, but you'd at least get the penalty and a first down, and when your backup came in and they dragged your lifeless body off the fucking...
Fair enough.
No, back in the day, they'd be like, that's football, all right? But They would actually feel bad for you now. Oh, vicious, cheap shot. He tackled him with both hands. It was terrible. It was almost like he was trying to prevent them from scoring. Now, but we didn't come here to talk about this, Joe.
All right. This is one tiny sports thing I could actually say that I've actually heard that I remembered.
What's that?
Because I remember growing up, somebody broke like Hank Aaron's home run record or some shit. And I remember one kid being like, that's amazing. And then the other kid being like, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Hitting homers now isn't the same thing as Hank Aaron hitting homers. It was harder for him to hit homers. And I never knew what it meant till right now. It's like
Well, when Hank Aaron played, the mound was actually higher. So as far as physics go, the guy was fucking throwing the heat and he was coming down at you. Joe, you've gotten in a lot of fights in your life, arguments anyways.
Sure.
You ever go to a game or something or a concert or something and you watch somebody try to fight somebody from the row behind? Yeah, and one guy's punching up and the other guy's punching down. Now, unless you got 6 inches on the other guy, you're just immediately at a disadvantage. So you had all these power pitchers from back then were like they were so fucking dominant and they got so good that then it was like they actually had to just because they were having like 1-0 games evidently. I mean, that's before my time, the 1960s or whatever, but like Don Drysdale, Sandy Koufax were crushing it there. Was it Josh Gibson? Who was the guy? It's all before my time. I'm getting old. I can't remember. The guy in the fucking Cardinals. They were just destroying guys. So they lowered the mound, and they've always done shit like that.
Did you ever hear the Jerky Boys Sandy Koufax call?
No.
It's one of the funniest calls. He's like, what the fuck is the premise of? He calls a guy to like go look at his truck or something, and because the guy's selling a truck, it's something unrelated to baseball, and he just starts talking about baseball, like that's the prank, and he's like, did you ever play any baseball? Sometimes you take a line drive straight to your fucking cock. And he keeps referencing Sandy Koufax, and he talks this guy in fucking circles. And then he's like, you got me talking about fucking Sandy Koufax over here. Totally flips it, blames it on the other guy, which is my favorite crank call.
I never heard that one.
It's so funny, man. It was on like one of the... I remember I downloaded it off the internet. It was like a fucking B-side or something. But it was like... It's my favorite when a crank caller flips it on the other guy and starts blaming him.
Oh, my favorite one was the Super across the way.
It's amazing.
When he starts yelling at that guy. And don't have me come down for you.
Yeah.
All right, Super across.
Look, jerky.
You got it, punk. And he just fucking hangs up on him.
Man wouldn't be afraid to get married at this point. You know, look at Kobe. Look at the shit he's going through right now. All right? Guy's getting a divorce. His wife's going to get $70 million. Never hit a layup in her life. You know, can anybody explain these divorce settlements? Can anybody make sense of these fucking things? Tiger Woods' wife, $250 million. She's a babysitter worth $250 million fucking dollars. Somebody, go ahead. Somebody, explain, justify it. Justify it. What, he cheated on her? I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. He cheated on her. Great, the relationship's over right then. Kobe cheated, right? Shouldn't that relationship been over right then? Why did she hang around like some jaded cop for 3 years trying to get her fucking pension? All right, get that 10 years in. I don't know, maybe that's too harsh. That shit bothers me, man.
Let's have a little empathy here. Put yourself in a lesbian's shoes. Who do lesbians date? Women. Who do they move in with? Women. Who do they get in relationships with? Women. Who do they eventually marry? Women. And I was thinking like, oh my God, I did that. I know what it's like to live with one of those fucking things. I know exactly what that is. It's hopeless. Trying to make them happy. Hey, I bought you the shiny thing. Did I do it right? Huh? Trying to get them to take responsibility for their actions. Not gonna happen. The best you're gonna get is I'm sorry, but I know what it's like to be winning a fucking argument. You're winning, and then they turn it around. They're crying. You're apologizing. You're thinking, what the fuck just happened? How am I losing this shit? I had you on the ropes. You feel so dumb. You gotta go for a walk, and you're just thinking, how did I lose again? And then you figure it out. It makes you feel stupid, and then you see some bald idiot with a giant orange mustache, and you're like, you know what? Why don't you take some of that shit?
How much football do you watch a week?
I watch 2 games on Sunday. I tape 3.
Right.
Then I watch the Monday game. And then Tuesday I watch one of the 3 that I taped. Wednesday I watch another one. Then I watch the Thursday night game. And then Friday, I got to watch the Sunday night game. Then
Okay.
Saturday, I watch college football.
Okay.
And it's fine.
Okay.
Because I have a simple male brain that can just sit there and just enjoy it. I can just enjoy it.
So does your wife watch any of these games with you? Does she?
No, she has the female, complex, multitasking brain. That's why they can't be happy. They just always, they're like, what is that lizard that can look at two things at once? That's what they're like.
I'm telling you, if you don't believe me, do a little people watching. Take a look at the look on the average lesbian's face, all right? I don't mean a lesbian in her 20s. She's got a whole life ahead of her. She's got Christmas in her eyes, right? I mean a lesbian about 35, 36, starting to settle into what the deal's gonna be, right? And then look across the bar, find a married guy about the same age. Look at the look on his face. Look at the look on her face. Go back to his face. It's the same fucking look. And then look at gay guys. Some of the happiest people I've ever met in my life, they're almost too happy. It's like, hey, how's it going? They're like, hi! Almost floating across the room with that lack of estrogen just yanking down your fucking dreams. I'm not saying all gay guys are just blissfully happy, but it's looking like a pretty good time to me. Lesbians are up at the bar like a bunch of jaded cops. That's all fucking bullshit. The fuck was I thinking? U-hauling after 10 days, moving in. What the fuck was I thinking? She's crazy!
I gotta tell you, the way white women somehow hijack the woke movement, generals around the world should be analyzing this. The woke movement was supposed to be about people of color, and it was about that for about 8 seconds. And then somehow, white women swung their Gucci-booted feet over the fence of oppression and stuck themselves at the front of the line. My life is so hard with my SUV and my heated seats. You have no idea what it's like to be me. Trash and white guys, the nerve. Where's the camera? The nerve of you white women. You guys stood by us toxic white males through centuries of our crimes against humanity. And occasionally, when you wanted to sneak off and hook up with a black dude, if you got caught, you said it wasn't consensual. Yeah, that's what you did. So why don't you shut up, sit down next to me, and take your talking to?
Every relationship has the person that will take the trash bag out of the trash barrel and do a little we're good, tie it off, and then leave it slumped against the counter like it took 2 behind the ear and a mob hit. And then there's the person that actually picks it up and takes it out to the curb at night and puts it in the trash can, right? My wife's hilarious, man. I love her, but she's got some of the worst excuses ever. I'm like, why don't you ever take out the trash? She goes, I would, I'm just afraid of coyotes. I'm afraid of the coyotes. It's like, so am I. So am I. They're rabid dogs. They hunt in packs of 2s and 3s. You don't do it because you don't want to do it because you know I'm going to do it. Just get the fuck away from me, please. No, I'm telling you.
No means no, that's another one. No means no. It's like, no, it doesn't. All right? Look, no means no. No, that means no. All right, but no, stop it. What are you doing? Oh my God. You're being so bad. Stop it. No. Yeah, that's not a fucking no. That means I want to do it, but I'm afraid you're going to judge me, so I'm just going to make it look like it was your idea so you don't figure out that I've already performed this act with 40 other fucking people. Right? But then you go to court and you get a bad read and there's some guy reading it. Your Honor, she said no. Stop it. What are you doing? You're being so bad. Yeah, and you're just sitting there like, she didn't fucking say it like that. She didn't say it like that.
That's one of my favorite things.
It'd be great if you were a movie
My wife
critic.
has such
It really
a
would
big
be great.
heart, and we're always watching TV, and she's forever getting teared up, and I'm laughing my off. Like she used to watch The Biggest Loser, and these fat people would be crying about all the cookies and burgers they were eating, and they were crying like they lost a dog or something. No, most of the world is starving. That's why. Like I went to like India, and I saw this level of poverty that I just maybe want to adopt every kid over here. And then you just come back to America, and there's these slovenly people. I just can't stop eating Oreos, and it was just so hilarious.
It was a
horrible thing that happened, and you should be feeling all of those feelings, including anger. So, but just walk away. It's
Yeah, that's what he
over.
should do, is just walk away. Although,
It's
I would be
over.
tempted to pull a female move and get some revenge, and I would tell her dad, what he...
You know what a you raised?
Do you know what a you're in love with? That's half your DNA. Did she get that from your wife? No.
No, yeah, there's
Yeah,
no
don't do
need
that.
to go. There's no need
No,
to
because
insult and
then
bring
he'll
the
look like
mother
an
into it.
asshole, and then he'll understand why she did it. I'm trying to inflict the most pain here.
Every time I think feminism has kind of like died off, like a band you can't stand. They haven't put out an album in a few years. You're like, oh, good. Did they quit? Did they break up? And all of a sudden they come out with some more shit. You're like, fuck, what is it now? I'm just fucking with you. Feminism doesn't bug me. It doesn't bother me. I'm not afraid of it or anything like that. For the simple fact that I know it's going to fail, I take comfort in that. I do. I'm not rooting for it because I know it doesn't like me. Do you know why? I think it's not going to survive? Why it's not going to be successful anyways? Because they still need men's help to make it happen. I don't understand it. I don't understand why women just can't work with each other and make this shit happen. They keep coming to us like, more men need to care about this issue. Where are the men to stand up and say something? Like, why do I have to fucking say something? This is your fucking problem. Like that Colin Kaepernick guy, right? You knew when he was like protesting during the national anthem. He got about halfway through that. People like, my brother's fighting in Iraq, you fucking piece of shit. And it's just like, buddy, nobody is saying your brother isn't in Iraq fighting. You're not listening. This is about police brutality. My brother's a firefighter. He watched 9/11 on television. No, buddy. Nobody's saying that your brother's not a firefighter. I got a bone spur in my heel. I can still stand up during the fucking song. Buddy, nobody is saying you can't see a fucking podiatrist, all right? You're not listening. That's what it became. It went from not listening to women to just believe women, right? And then, and then people just like, did you see that story? Did you read this story? You can't make something like that up. I always want to be like, well, did you see Star Wars? I mean, somebody made that up. They made like fucking 15 of them, People can make shit up, right? You're part of the fucking problem. Get the fuck out,
It's been a tough week here, for obvious reasons. We lost Norm Macdonald this week, which was just, I had no idea that he was even sick. And he's a guy that I knew a little bit. I was definitely friendly with him. If we saw each other, we said hello and we shot the shit, but it wasn't like someone that I talked to on the phone or anything. And I was such a huge fan of his, and I would just always end up running into him. And he just always had that smile on his face. Like as you talk to him, he would have that smile. Just a really great, warm guy. And I remember I was trying to think what Norm's story to tell you. This one isn't necessarily funny. It was just sort of random. I went out to go see Bill Cosby in concert right before all the bullshit happened, out in Pasadena. And he played this theater out there, which interestingly enough was where they had the 25th anniversary of Motown celebration, which is the first place Michael Jackson publicly did the moonwalk. I saw Bill Cosby at that theater. And I remember they had it all set up where they almost built him like a little living room. He had like an Archie Bunker type chair, a little square rug, and then like a side table where he put his water. And he just came walking out, and there was the mic. There was no mic stand. It was just sitting on the chair. And he just came out. You know how he kind of walked a little bent over? Came walking out, waved to everybody, sat down, picked up the mic, and for like almost 2 hours, just, hour and a half, just killed. Just fucking killed. Had the crowd in the palm of his hand. Masterclass of stand-up, right? So I leave with my lovely wife, and I go out front, and who's standing there is Norm Macdonald. He was like, hey, Bill, hey, how you doing? And I talked. It was like, no, what's going on? I was so psyched that he knew my name and all of that stuff, and I think I had met him before. And then we just stood there talking about comedy and how amazing it was to see Bill Cosby and how good he still was. Like I said, this was before all the bullshit happened. And my admiration for the guys, it went even higher. That, you know, I understood why I was there, but I thought Norm was so good that he didn't need to be there. And he was still there, still trying to learn and everything. And I was thinking, like, wow, this is why this guy is so fucking amazing. And, you know, he's just was somebody that you couldn't just watch one video of him. Like, you know, I was saying to Verzi how, like, guys like Ric Flair, Norm Macdonald, there's a few people, if you click on their videos, it's like, say goodbye to the next 2 hours of your life, because everything that they did is so interesting and so different and so funny. And one of my favorite Norm Macdonald things that he ever did, you know, because so many people like pretend that they don't give a fuck, you know, both in my business and in other businesses. You got the, I don't give a fuck. Hey, you know me, I don't give a fuck. You know, those people that advertise them. Like, that guy clearly, in the best way, didn't give a fuck. He really cared about people and stuff, but like he did what he wanted to do. And when he was on SNL, how big a gig that was, because there was so few channels, the internet hadn't blown up yet. And even with basic cable and everything, I mean, it was still, if you were on Saturday Night Live and you were doing Weekend Update, it was one of the most coveted gigs a comedian could have. And you were part of this lineage of, you know, at that point it was, you know, Chevy Chase, Jane Curtin, right on through to Dennis Miller's reign when he did it. And, you know, did Colin Quinn come after? I think Colin came after, but it was always just like the best of the best comics that they had doing it, and continued on with Tina Fey and all of them. And no one's walking away from that job. And if some suit at NBC tells you they don't like the jokes you're doing and be funnier, you know, you're shaking in your, I'd be like, oh, fuck, you know, I'm going to lose this big gig. I don't want to get fired. I don't want to piss these people off or whatever. I guess he was doing all those OJ jokes, and somebody, I forget how the story went. There was somebody there that knew OJ or something and was telling Norm to back off and move on to something else. So what does Norm do? He just doubles down and he just does even more OJ jokes, which is like, you know, the balls that took to do that. And he ended up losing the gig. He got fired. And people loved him and he was fucking hilarious, but he, you know, he didn't back down to the big fucking guy over there, and he ended up losing the gig. So, you know, as luck would have it, I think it was Dirty Work, came out like a year and a half later or so. So he has to promote it, and he's on the press thing. So Lauren has him back and has him host the show. And I remember he went out there, and his opening joke, he just comes out. And he was just like, yeah, something like this. Yeah, it's good to be back. You know, I actually got fired from this show about a year and a half ago because they said I wasn't funny. And now here I am. I'm hosting the show. So that means one of two things. Either I got a lot funnier or this show sucks. And then he had that big shit-eating grin on his face, and he started laughing. And then he proceeded to do a bunch of OJ jokes. And it was just like that fucking thing about him. And the whole time, I just felt the whole time when people were fucking with him or whatever and trying to take what he had, he always just still had that smile on his face, and he just still did exactly what he wanted to do. And I got so much respect for him. And I feel so fortunate that I got to see him live. So I remember, oh my God, I saw him right after 9/11. The Aspen after 9/11. Aspen Comedy Festival was this big fucking festival that was always a nightmare to get in and out of every year. it would snow and people would get stuck in Denver, or you get snowed in, you couldn't get out. It was a fucking nightmare. And then as a comedian, you had to perform. It was like a mile higher than fucking Denver, and no one could breathe, and you performing in front of all these super fucking rich people in front of industry, and you just go up and you would eat your fucking balls, and you're like, why did I come out here? And I remember I saw Joe Rogan do a full set that I still remember, and then I saw Norm Macdonald. It was at the same theater, and I remember Norm came out, and he was doing bits on racial profiling and all of this stuff. I'm not going to butcher the guy's bits, but I remember just watching that full set, and I was like, this guy is one of the greatest comedians I've ever seen in my life. And I thought that every time I saw him, and I don't know, it was a pleasure to know the guy, even on a little level. Just a massive, massive, massive loss to not have him around, and especially now with all of this stupid fucking cancel culture horseshit that is going on, which has way, way, way overstepped its bounds, as it always happens. No matter who's behind it, it always ends up, starting off with something that makes sense, and then that becomes the overreach, and then it just becomes like, hey, is it me, or did you literally become what the fuck you were trying to stop? And we, I don't know, as a comedian, really needed a guy like Norm out there to be eviscerating it and making fun of it and still doing what the fuck you want to do. So if there's any other young comics out there, if you want to see how it's done, watch that guy, because he was the real deal.
Then it occurred to me, I haven't gotten funnier. The show has gotten really bad. So yeah, I'm funny compared to, well, you'll see later.
I've been battling with my girlfriend a lot lately. She loves to watch the Oprah Winfrey Show, and I love to watch her watch the Oprah Show. And then I wait for Oprah to say something that I don't agree with, and then I take it out on my girlfriend because I'm a jerk. So Oprah brings out her first guest, right? She gives her this huge intro. She's written a book, she's been in a movie, and she does the most difficult job on the planet. She's a mother. So immediately I look at my girlfriend, I'm like, really? Being a mother is the most difficult job on the planet? How many moms died on ice road truckers last season? Any moms get washed overboard on Deadliest Catch? No, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but which job would you rather have? You want to scoop crabs up off the bottom of the ocean, hanging off some rusty tugboat, catching that trap to the back of your head every couple of weeks? Or you want to hang out in the sunshine with a couple of rugrats? You can send them to bed anytime you want on some trumped up charges. Yeah. Trumped up charges, yeah, because you want to have a drink and watch The Price is Right. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. No, maybe it is. Maybe it is the most difficult job. I mean, I thought roofing in the middle of July as a redhead. I thought that was a difficult job. But evidently, these mothers, they're bending over at the waist, putting DVDs in the DVD players. I don't know how they do it. How do they do it? Oh, the way they push that stroller with the round wheels. Yeah, and the baby in there. It's the most difficult job on the planet. Going to war pinned down by a sniper. What a joke. It's a joke. You have a burp a baby and forget to put that towel up there? Oh, there's another shirt you gotta wash, right? Oh yeah, lift with your knees and put it in that machine that does it for you. People, any job you can do in your pajamas is not difficult. Sure, it's draining, but come on, man. Being a stay-at-home mom, that's like my dream job. No boss, no time card, no taxes. You're off the grid. Hanging out all day, making grilled cheese sandwiches. Giving a puppet show, you dress like a dragon. Then some other adult comes home and gives you money. Yeah. You got to. There should be a high top bar here, like potato skins. This is very Applebee's going out of business. Yeah, you have like that. I don't know if it's me, but you're so happy. Sometimes it bothers me. Like I get actually anxiety around people as happy as you. It's like I can't hit the ball back, dude. I can't sustain you coming to the net with your happiness. I'm just like, this is over. He's gonna smash it right at me. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Can these people see us as they walk by?
I think it's tinted, but yeah, they can kind of.
That'd be weird, huh? It's like on the Good Day show, you know.
Crouch a little so they can't see us.
Yeah, those sad people who show up to the Good Day show at like 5 in the morning, just stand there.
Signs.
Yeah, hoping Ethel sees them.
Like from Kansas all the time. Yeah. Bill, thanks so much for being here. I love this show. You're one of my favorite comedians. I'm excited to talk to you.
Well, I'm excited to be here. These chairs are horrific. This is designed for like, I don't know what age. It's not like 6 to 8, like when you're 11. This is like the perfect size. It's not quite adult size. It's not kid size. I already slouch. It's going to be a bad interview, dude, and I'm blaming the chair.
I slouch or go down like this or
All right.
cross the legs. Bill, are you the head writer on the show, or how do you work in the writers' room on the show? Because you write your stand-up specials, you know, obviously you're a writer, but you've never really written on a sitcom before. If you go through your credits, you hadn't really been on a show before.
Why'd you have to bring that up? Just right out of the gate, he goes negative. Never really saw you write on anything before, Bill. There was all these other nice things on your IMDb page I could have brought up, but I noticed this one glaring thing that you've never done. And right out of the gate, was it because I made fun of the chairs? I'm sorry. No, I'm not the head writer. Mike Price, the great Mike Price. I have to say there, he beats me in the writer's room. The great Mike Price from The Simpsons. He's the head guy, and I'm one of 10 in there, pitching jokes and that type of stuff. So, yeah, that's what I do in there.
Were you nervous
I'll be sure to have that on my IMDb page for the next time.
No, I love the show, and I was wondering if you were nervous getting in there with a group of writers, since you've been sort of the lone writer of all of your work for so long.
Oh, no, by no means did I want to do this by myself. I mean, you need all of that help. Like, I had an idea to do something like this on my website, just do little 5-minute vignettes, because I used to tell family stories when I first started out doing stand-up, and everybody laughed when I was the young comic. And then as I became the older comic, you know, and the helicopter kids came in, and everything was labeled, and people wore helmets when they rode bicycles, and everything was considered bullying, those same stories didn't get laughs anymore. Everybody was sort of groaning like, oh, you know. I'd be like, no, this was funny. I deserve to get beaten for that. So that's when I decided, well, if I animate these things, and I'm a comedian, so I never did it because I have other jobs that I can do to make money. So it wasn't until I got with Mike Price, he turned it into a show. Vince Vaughn's company, too.
And what was your initial, so was this the idea that you initially had going into it, that it would look like this?
No, I had no idea what it was going to look like. This was like, I actually decided to do a cartoon because you can get away with more. And also, I did like those one-camera shoots, and those people work like 12, 14-hour days. There's hair, makeup, and wardrobe. So I thought I was being smart doing an animated show, thinking, oh, this will be easy. You know, they just do a little Flintstone shit, you know? I'll come in and say a couple of goofy things into a mic, and I'll go back out, you know, go see a movie or something. And it's not quite how it works. So this alone, just trying to come up with the look of it, which you wouldn't think, it took us we spent I felt like 6 weeks on noses and eyes, because you have to have everybody look. It's a weird thing, like animation.
Well, it sets up the world.
Yeah, but you have to come up with like your race of like animated people, you know? So like,
So, like, the Simpsons have the mustard yellow people with the giant eyes. The Simpsons have, like, the Pac-Man heads. So you got to kind of come up with your own thing that hasn't been done before. So I hope we did. We try to have, like, we wanted the 70s look the way most of my friends remember it. I mean, the way Hollywood does the 70s is everybody looked like Ron Burgundy or the Bee Gees or something. And that was, you know, that was a group of people. And everybody drove a Pacer, which they didn't. I remember when that car came out, me and my wife was like, that was me and my mother. What the hell's wrong with me? So that was the ugliest piece of shit I've ever seen. Sorry. I went out to a diner till like 4 a.m. last night. I got into an argument over music. This kid was trying to tell me that the Foo Fighters were better than the Beatles, and I just couldn't handle that.
Wait, what? Let's stick to this for a second, if you don't mind. Who the hell was arguing with you that the Foo Fighters are better than the Beatles?
He said he didn't like the Beatles because they didn't. When I listened to their music, he goes, it doesn't make me want to get on an elliptical. Like, this is how this guy judges music. Like, it makes him want to work out. So, like, with that analogy, it's just like, hey, I don't like Mozart because it doesn't make me want to grab ankle weights. You know, I don't even, and like an idiot, I actually argued with this person. Like, they're that far down the boulevard. Like, I was going to bring them somewhere to where I was. And my eggs were getting cold, and I stayed in it. It was such a waste of time. It's just one of those days you wake up at like noon hating yourself. Like, I'm decades beyond having these things happen to me, and
how did you argue with that? If it started there, how did you argue about it?
Upsetting other people. I vaguely remember saying to some guy there, like, because he was giving me shit for how loud I was being. I finally said to the guy, "Go, dude, who the fuck orders spaghetti at a diner?" And I didn't hear another word out of him, so I was proud of that.
The one person who's excited for the huge menu orders spaghetti. You know?
Yeah, at some point I was going to make a point here. That's why I keep looking at here, and I just realized I'm blocking myself out of the camera. I love that you have the jib camera for this, like it's an action movie. Let's swoop in at these two guys sitting in these unbelievably small chairs. I literally feel like I'm going to fall onto the floor. This is insane. You really went all out with the audience, though. They got full-size adult chairs. Are these like from the 20s before they had like horse tranquilizers in our food? When everybody was like 5'1"? Yeah, Wait a minute, do you own Fab TV?
Yes, how do you know that?
Because you're so friggin' dressed down. You just had that vibe. This is how CEOs, like, I knew it. I was just like, this guy's not
by the way,
like
I had to take my host out.
Your cameramen are dressed better than you are. I knew it. I was just like, this guy's not a reporter. Didn't even know the name of the show. Wow.
Well, you know what? Take it as a I wanted an interview. I'm like, no, I got to be in with Bill Burr. You're one of my idols.
So who was you supposed to interview me?
Okay, here.
Unbelievable. What is that? Oh, there you go. Now it looks like an interview.
You know, Mr. Burr, you know, how does it feel?
Okay, I saw, these are the first 3 movies I saw. I saw For the Love of Benji.
Yeah.
And then we saw Scarface. She didn't know what it was. She knew it was like a gangster movie, but she thought it was like, you know, like Kojak or something. And if she wanted to leave then, I would have, but she didn't. She just is very reserved. She's just kind of like, maybe this will get better. Like, she just... Hey, how are you? What's going on? Nice to be here. I thought this was over by 7. I'm a stand-up comedian. I tell shit jokes around the country. It's what I do. And I got to be honest, like, I don't know much about writers. You know, I used to think you guys were a bunch of nerds who couldn't hold up your end of the conversation, you know, with strange shoes. I did. There was going to be yet another pilot that was going to fail. I'd just be sitting in a coffee house trying to talk to these writer, and it just would never connect, you know? So I always end up just staring at their shoes, but like, I don't know. I've always been like an idiot. And, no, I did. I used to think like a pony was a little horse. And there was these people down the street had this pony for like 7 years. And one day I said to my mother, I was like, when's that pony going to become a horse? So, I don't know. I didn't understand what you guys did. Like being in a writer's room. I never really understood like what a fucking hell it is. And the last 2 years of my life, I've spent it in there. And like, I've just never contemplated suicide more times in my life, you know? Every time you get that note, like, you know, I don't think we earned this moment. This isn't in our palette. Like, well, who do I root for? I just always think, you know, there's always that sweet option. We're on like the 8th floor. I just think it. I think I could hit my car, you know?
Maybe land right in the driver's seat and be poetic. No, I do. Just sitting in a writer's room all day. I come home, I just stare at the wall. I can't hear my wife's voice. My drinking is off the rails. And I just want to say to all you guys, I really respect now what the hell it is you guys do, because it is, without a doubt, the toughest job out here. So thank you for writing shit for me to say.
I'm sick of Obama's wife. Yeah. This isn't some Republican rant either. It's just kind of first ladies in general. You know, I don't know what it is. All throughout my life, with each presidency, like these first ladies, they've just gotten more and more like chatty. You know? More and more chiming in, like leaning into the frame, spitting out their ideas. It's just like, well, why are you talking? Right? You weren't elected. Shut up. Your husband's not running a lemonade stand here. He's running the country. You don't just chime in. Let me guess, is this considered sexist? It is? Why? Well, okay, you just nodded there, lady. Let me ask you this, all right? Let's say you had a leak in your house, okay? You call a plumber up. He shows up, and he goes, yeah, I think the leak's coming from the upstairs bathroom. We need to shut it up, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden his wife walks in, who isn't a plumber. And then goes, hey, you know, I actually think it's kind of pretty high. Wouldn't you be like, with all due respect, shut the up. I need a plumber in this moment. I'll extend an olive branch here. All right, at some point, there's going to be the first female president, right? Exactly. Which means at that moment, you're going to have the first male first lady, right? And when that happens, that dude needs to shut his trap. I don't want to hear a word out of him. I want to hear from the president. You, sir, go do some first lady stuff, all right? Go get yourself some gloves that go up to your elbows. Smile and nod during speeches. Go put your own flair redecorating the White House, right? Which leads you to Michelle Obama, right? Now she's sitting there holding up those hashtags. Remember that hashtag, bring back our girls? Remember that? It's like, it blew my mind. It's like, why are you showing me that? I'm a stand-up comedian. Like, what am I going to do to get those girls back? Why don't you look across the dinner table? It's like, you see that guy? That is the leader of the free world. Tell him to pick up a phone, call some Navy SEALs and solve it. What am I going to do? Show up with a sharpened mic stand? Michelle said to bring him back. Oh, it's unreal. I'll tell you what kills me. Hillary Clinton might run. She might run. That blows my mind. I mean, she became a senator. She went from being the president's wife to being a senator. Just like that. Lateral move. That's like Tom Brady's wife becoming the next quarterback of the Rams. It's like, what, you hanging out? You just pick it up? I sucked at sports, and then I banged Tom Brady, and I don't know what happened. I just picked up a ball. I started lacing it. I'm leading receivers. It was incredible. I knew it was going to be like this. You know what's funny? There's actually people out there that think a woman being president is actually a good idea. You know? Can you believe that? See what they do? That'll do something. That'll change things. How? How the is that going to change anything? Do you know what the president makes a year? The president makes $400,000 a year. That's it. He's trying to keep billionaires in line, making $400,000 a year. That's all he makes. He makes less than some people blogging on the internet. The president should have you money, right? He shouldn't be sitting there with his pockets turned inside. I need your help to give me the job. Right? What do you guys all donate to the campaign? Is that what it is?
So I got a dog recently. That's a big thing in my life. I went down to the pound and I got a free dog. That's how I say it. I don't say I rescued a dog. All right, it's obnoxious and it's not true. Sick of people doing that. She's a rescue. Yeah, I rescued her. Really? Did you pull her out of a burning building? My girlfriend actually, to be honest with you, got the dog while I was traveling. I was in a different state. My girlfriend got us a dog. Classic female move, you know? That's just a 10 to 15-year commitment. Why would you include me in that decision?
Do this because I don't want to have a job. I just like being able to fuck. Like, you know what I love about this interview right now? There's zero preparation. I don't have to do shit. I was watching the fucking Jets-Miami game last night. I had a couple of beers, hanging out with my dog. I had a great fucking time. There was no like, oh, I got this big meeting tomorrow. I got to hit my PowerPoints, graph how comedy exists. There's none of that. I just show up. I might have been the worst comic in the history. Like, first of all, I would get on stage. I was so nervous. I'd take the mic out of the mic stand, and I would immediately just start pacing.
Like a panther.
And it had like a nervous panther who got declawed and defanged. Yeah. And I was just walking back and forth, and my movement had nothing to do with what I was talking about. I can't even believe I got any laughs. I would just be like, yeah, so I was growing up, and my dad was crazy, and it was just like, it was like that thing, you know, the old carnival game where you try to shoot the duck.
Actually, Nerd Jesus died in the last year, right? Steve Jobs. Yeah, he died, right? I know, a lot of nerds here tonight. I know, you're sad. I didn't get it. I didn't get the big deal they made about that guy. When he died, they were like, he changed the world. That's insane. He changed the world. The world was one way, and then Steve Jobs came, and it was another. What did he do? Somebody, for the love of God, what the fuck did that guy do? What did he do? He told other people what to invent? I want my entire music collection in that phone. Get on it! Right? And then these poor, nameless, faceless scientists got to go in a back room and figure it out. How the fuck are we going to get all of this into this? I mean, what year does this guy think this is? This is crazy. This is like Buck Rogers. Dude, my kid has a birthday in like 11 months. Steve Jobs just walking by. I don't hear any thinking going on in there. Just strutting around the office, eating some pretentious fruit like a pear. Right? Just throwing out ideas. There's another one. There's another one I just came up with on the way to work. I was reading a magazine the other day, turning pages, you know. I like to turn pages on a screen that aren't even there. Yeah, wrap your fucking heads around that, guys. See you in 8 years. Where you going, Michael? Big, little, get on it. Right? And all these people slave away to make his vision come true. And then they have the big nerd fest, right? Down there, Comic-Con, and all their nerd mecca. They're all showing up with their Acne and their Hulk shirts, limping into the arena, right? Does Steve Jobs go out with a whole chorus line of scientists? No, he goes out there by himself. Sneakers and no belt, like it was no biggie, right? like he's Tesla. Tapping into the atmosphere. I know, this is always uncomfortable. I know, you bought into it, right? That whole advertising, the way they aligned themselves with some of the greatest people of all time. Jesus, Gandhi, me. Remember that? Muhammad Ali, John Lennon, this guy. How the fuck was that dude like any of them? Gandhi didn't have a sweatshop. Nah, he didn't have people leaping to their deaths only to catch a net and get ricocheted back through the window to have to put together yet another iPad. John Lennon didn't have children in his basement pressing those fucking albums. I know. New phone can't fit the old charger. This is your hero? This is the guy? This is what all the silence is about? New phone can't fit the old charger, so then you gotta throw it out, ends up in the ocean around some octopus's neck. Do you realize how much sea life is ecstatic that that man is no longer walking the earth? That's where it all ends up, you know. Doesn't go in a landfill, ends up in the ocean. You realize that? I hate people who say I don't pollute. I don't pollute. Yeah, you do. You use shit and you throw it out. Well, you think because you put it in like a basket, it just poof, disappears? Everything you ever used is somewhere. You ever think about that? Remember that flannel shirt you bought back in the day when you got into Pearl Jam? That's out there somewhere. Probably on some porpoise's face. He's trying to get it off. Stupid little flippers. All the fads. You remember rollerblading? Remember that? Everybody had them. We set up cones, we did little tricks, right? One little homophobic joke killed that entire fad. What's the hardest thing about rollerblading? Telling your parents you're gay. Full-grown adults. Dude, I'm not gay. I don't have the cooties. These mean I suck dick. And they just threw them out. They end up in the ocean. They're made out of plastic. They can't biodegrade. They just break down to little cubes. Fish are breathing them in. 6 months later, you're going out, you're getting sushi. You think you're being healthy. You're eating your old rollerblades.
You know, I've never been in a country where all of a sudden the most powerful army the world has ever seen comes in and takes it over in a couple hours. She must have been terrified, right? And she's a woman. You know, she's into fashion. They show up with those Hugo Boss uniforms. You know, her knees buckle a little bit. Things start getting ugly. People are getting shot in the street. She's freaking out. You know. And she's a woman. And women know, push comes to shove. When you get your back against the wall, no matter how bad it gets, they always have the option of fucking their way out of a situation. They always got that card they can play. Right? All women know this. All women know this. Men don't realize this till they go to prison. But women learn this early on. She had the option, and she took it. I can't get mad at her for that, you know? So she's dead and gone. I think she's up there in heaven. I think she made it. She's up there with Sean Connery. Every once in a while, they have a disagreement. He gets a little slap, you know? She doesn't care. Once you shit on a Nazi's chest, I mean, a little backhand's not going to freak you out. Jesus can't say anything. He got a hooker, right? Everybody's got a little something they did. Yeah, there you go. So, still buy your Coco Chanel. She's still a hero. She was a victim. She was a victim of that time. She was frightened. She was scared. She didn't know what to do. Anyway. So, we're living in a fucking weird time. Obviously, beyond all the bullshit that's going on now, like, every time I think feminism has kind of, like, died off, you know? You know, like a band you can't stand, and you just, they haven't put out an album in a few years. You're like, oh, good. Did they quit? Did they break up? And all of a sudden, they come out with some more shit. You're like, ah, fuck, what is it now? I'm just fucking with you. Feminism doesn't bug me, you know? It doesn't bother me. I'm not afraid of it or anything like that. You know, for the simple fact that I know it's going to fail, you know? And I take comfort in that. I do. I'm not rooting for it because I know it doesn't like me. Yeah. Do you know why I think it's not going to survive? Why it's not going to be successful anyways? Because they still need men's help to make it happen. I don't understand it. I don't understand why women just can't work with each other and make this shit happen. They keep coming to us like, you more men need to care about this issue. Where are the men to stand up and say something. Like, why do I have to fucking say something? This is your fucking problem. Why are you always dragging us into this shit? I saw a woman a couple months back, professional soccer player, right? She goes on to ESPN or one of these sports channels, and she starts bitching, going like, I don't understand, how come female athletes don't make as much as male professional athletes? Right? And all of these men had to sit there and act like they didn't know what the answer was. They had to sit there like dumbfounded, like, oh, I don't know. Why is that? That is a conundrum. I have no idea. Literally, I'm sitting at home screaming at the TV because you don't sell any fucking tickets. Nobody is going to women's soccer games. You're playing in a 20,000 seat arena. 1,500 people show up. That's not a good night. The promoter lost his fucking ass on that gig. I'm not saying no professional female athletes, Serena Williams, the women in the UFC, you know, but nobody's watching your fucking sport. And then you're going to come and you're going to get mad at fucking men. They keep doing that shit. Why are you yelling at us? It's not our fucking job. It's not my fucking job to give a fuck about women's soccer, okay? I have men's sport to pay attention to. It's your bullshit, right? Dude, look at the WNBA. Dude, nobody in the WNBA got COVID. Nobody. They have been playing in front of 300 to 400 people a night for a quarter of a century. Not to mention, it's a male-subsidized league. We gave you a fucking league. None of you showed up. Where are all the feminists? That place should be packed with feminists. Faces painted, wearing jerseys, splashing their titties. Going fucking nuts like the guys do. In the upper deck with their big beer titties. Am I on the Jumbotron? Am I doing it? None of you went to the fucking games. None of you. You failed them. Not me. Not men. Women failed the WNBA. Ladies, name your top 5 all-time WNBA players of all time. Come on. Let's hear it. Name 5 WNBA teams. Name the WNBA team in your fucking city. You can't do it. You don't give a fuck about them. They play night in and night out in front of nobody. It's a fucking tragedy. Right? And then meanwhile, you look at the Kardashians. They're making billions. You look at those Real Housewives shows. They're making money hand over fist because that's what women are watching. And the money listens. You don't want to watch this shit? You watch this shit? They just shoot it over there, drowning these whores in money. Purses and shoes and Botox. It's just raining. It's raining money. Yeah. So, the money listens. You'd rather watch that shit. Real Housewives, bunch of women just tearing each other down. Well, maybe that's why your husband left you. Maybe that's why your husband left. That's why you can't have kids, bitch. That's why your ass is as flat as your titties, bitch, right? That's the message you sent. We would rather watch that than see a bunch of women come together as a team and try to achieve a common goal. We would rather watch them absolutely fucking destroy each other. Yeah. No. And then in the end, you come back and you fucking yell at guys. And it's like, all right, so let me get this straight. I have to buy you a drink, stop the axe murderer from coming through the fucking window, and I have to watch WNBA games for you? Like, when are you going to pick up your end of the couch? Yeah. I don't have any sympathy for women when it comes to shit like that because every study they've ever done to determine who's smarter, men or women, every study comes back and says women are smarter. Every fucking one. Ladies, you shouldn't be applauding that. You know I'm an asshole. You know this isn't going to end well. Did he say I'm pretty? Oh my God. Get out of the relationship. If every study says that you're smarter, okay, the question you should be asking yourself was, we're so goddamn smart, how are we in the situation we're in? Well, you're in the situation you're in not because of guys like me, as much as you want to blame me. You know, ladies, you can't tell me you never drove by a sports bar on a football Sunday and looked at the humanity in there? All those dumb guys with their big beer bellies bumping shit. Hey, he's on my fantasy team! Up top, yeah! You want to get some more mozzarella sticks? Yeah. As a woman with your bigger brain, you never looked in there and thought to yourself, I'm fucking losing to that? I'm losing to that. Yeah, there's nothing stopping you other than the fact that you guys are just into destroying each other. No, now it's going to get quiet. I see all that sneaky shit you do. Ladies, if you could just support the WNBA the way you support a fat chick that's proud of her body and is no longer a threat to you, you know, that league would be doing better numbers than the NBA. Oh my God. That's one of the saddest things I've ever seen. Oh my God, you're a goddess. You're gorgeous. You look great in that bikini. I would kill myself if I looked like that. Keep eating. Keep eating. Lose a toe, you fat bitch. It's just... You saw an alcoholic where you'd be like, oh my God, look at you. You're face down, passed out. Your kids are crying. You're a hero. You're a god. Keep doing what you're doing. You'd be like, dude, you need to get your fucking shit together. Get off the sauce.